Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Frontier Friday. I am your host, CCP Jötunn, and today I'm joined by my colleagues, my friends, my compatriots, CCP Bowman, CCP Concron, and CCP Overload. Look at this. Look at all these. Look at these tags.
Names.
Yes, names. I spent 45 minutes putting these together. Too much time.
We can swap places.
Committed too much. Oh, no, please don't.
Oh, yes.
We'll put those away. Folks, today we're going to be doing a Q&A. We have questions submitted by you if you're a founder. If not a founder, get bent. Actually, just kidding. Don't get bent. Become a founder.
You can for just $20
For
right
just
now.
$20 right now.
Limited time only.
Limited time only. You too can become a founder. And be somebody somewhere just got real sweaty when I told our audience to get bent. I actually
CCP Eggs probably.
Yeah, CCP Eggs.
Someone clip that and send it to CCP Eggs.
Oh, Lord have mercy. He's watching.
Yeah.
He's for sure watching. He'll be in chat here in a minute. Chat, we are here again. We're going to be doing one of these as we usually do whenever we have big events happening. And the start of Cycle 5 is a big event. Last Friday, we did a stream. We were going to do a stream in the
office.
In the office. We did not because of issues.
Yeah. We did it Monday.
So we did it on Monday instead. And then last Wednesday, we kicked off the start of Cycle 5, which was...
Look, Microcong, first one to get in with the
with the referral code.
Microcong, I gave you permission. Post your referral code in Twitch chat.
Oh, my God.
I gave you permission. I authorized it.
I cannot believe this.
He was the first one. He hustled. No one else hustled.
Someone ham-handed a camera, I heard. It wasn't quite a ham-handing. It was more of a misunderstanding about the inner workings of that specific camera. Turns out that camera does not run on main power when you have it plugged in, as long as it has a battery in it. So I was running the battery out because I was running on battery. It's a long story. Anyway, needless to say, we did figure it out for Monday. It was a lot of fun, and we'll be doing that again. If you like that sort of stream, I'm glad, because we'll be doing it more than once. Wireless is hard. You're right, Darkadian.
This is why you're not our technical director, though.
That is true. Thank God I'm not a technical director, or really, honestly, a director of any kind. If we can just avoid that in the future, that'd be great. So we're going to get right into it. Before we go any further, of course, this is CCP Bowman, our development director. He manages the actual, how things get developed and how they get put together and how they get deployed. Over here, CCP Concron is our senior game designer. He designs games, also old. And this is CCP Overload, who I think shitposts for a living. We're not quite sure yet. He is also the one who makes sure the server turns on and off. So if you didn't know what everybody here does, and I actually do shitpost for a living. So let's get into it. Gentlemen, lads.
Yes.
Let's do it again.
Let's get
All
some
right.
questions.
So let's go to our PowerPoint. Ooh, what an exciting first slide. At some point, I'm going to have to swap out this little video at the beginning, because while it is good, we've been using it for like 2 years.
There's new stuff, too.
There is new
but
stuff.
It's really good.
It is really good. I do like this one.
I like the bit with the word black hole.
Yeah,
That's my bit. That
is a
John,
good one.
when John Black Hole comes in, there he is.
Yeah, old
Black
John
Hole.
Black Hole. Hey, speaking of which, when are we going to get to black hole assets for our skyboxes here?
Not today.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, we'll work
You
on
asked
that.
a when question.
We'll work on that one for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. Okay, we'll look at it next week. Okay, moving ahead. Let's go get this thing done. Let's go to the. I would have helped if I had actually turned this on, huh?
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, here we go. This is what we're doing. I didn't find a good way to center this text, so it does look very goofy. This is better. Eve is widely regarded as a pioneer of the MMORPG genre and has long been known for strong player-driven social dynamics. With that in mind, are there any plans to further expand these social systems or role-playing opportunities within Frontier? This comes to us from Crusader.
Yes,
Yeah,
the answer is
absolutely.
yes.
Yeah. We can be very reductive and just say yes.
Do you want more detail than that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess, so then the question that people are going to end up asking is, we're talking so much about the modability of the game, and how much we want to give players governance, we want to give players the opportunity to flesh out their systems with these new third-party tools, but how much of that are we leaving it in the players' hands, and how much of it are we working on ourselves?
We're going to provide them the building blocks. If you put the question back up so I can sort of talk about it directly.
Yeah.
So it's actually a very good question here, talking about strong player-driven social dynamics. And I wanted to just kind of touch on, this question probably comes from someone who's familiar with EVE Online, based on how I'm interpreting it at least. And if you think about how your corporation or alliance or even coalition structure works within EVE Online, how much of that is actually outside of the game in terms of third-party tools? Maybe you use things like Alliance Auth, maybe you use Discord integrations, maybe you use other fitting tools, all sorts of stuff. those are essentially like plugging into, I don't want to use the word endpoints, but like it's kind of like a bit simplistic, but let's just say endpoints for now. They're plugging into endpoints that the game allows people to interact with, to basically give them ways to do stuff out with the game itself.
Sure.
We believe that's a truly great way to run things like this. So rather than us try and like dictate the social structure in the game that you must follow and then kind of like bend it to your will, our plan is to essentially allow you to craft the social structure that you want, that will exist both inside and outside of the game sort of simultaneously. It'll be able to like talk back and forward in the same way that some Eve tools like Alliance Auth can like input things into the game. It should be the other way as well.
Yeah.
And the beauty of the modability is also that you can get what you need for your group,
Yes.
your like
100%.
corporation or tribe, rather than waiting for us for months.
Yeah.
Figuring out what everybody needs and then delivering that to you.
Yeah.
And not everybody needs the same thing, right? The core of Frontier is giving the players the ability to define the game that they're playing.
Yeah.
Right. This is a simulation of a world, and in that we would want to give you the tools to define what social relationships are.
Yeah.
And so if we can give you those core elements that Scott was talking about, as Overload was talking about, then that is the right approach.
He's on the leaderboard now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a way to go to get to you.
I was gonna say you're coming to the master here, please.
Yeah.
So the other thing I've talked about a couple of times in interviews and on streams as well, that it might be sort of pertinent to think about, is if you think of the world of the Frontier, it's this like post-apocalyptic, empty, vast universe with the universe itself is just hostile. There's all these rogue drones that are like floating around and doing God knows what. The universe itself is kind of the enemy. And I've used like The Walking Dead or the world of The Last of Us is analogous to this, because you have these pockets of survivors that are living in different ways, and in between them is just hostile worlds with like creatures and things that are willing to kill anybody. And these different little civilizations all kind of live in their own set of structures and rules. Some of them are authoritarian, some of them militaristic, some of them sort of more agricultural focused, some of them are very like peace be among you to everybody, and they can all run separately in the same world, and they have interaction sort of vectors between themselves depending on distance and where they are, and occasionally they clash with each other. And that's kind of like one of the futures we envision for the Frontier, that you should be able to put your social structure together for your group how you want it to be. Do you want to be this like hardline military dictatorship? Do you want to be like a sort of a peaceful democracy? Like, why is it on us to tell you how to play the game? We're building a civilization engine that you get to choose to live in, and how you want to live is how it should be how you get to do it.
Yeah.
And so one of the questions up there, one of the comments on this is that once you create a tool, you can publish it into the experience. It becomes part of the experience for everybody to decide if they want to use it as well.
And then the inside the game, and from the design perspective, we're also leaning more into allowing people more space to play together. We're seeing it in the base building now. Now we have multiple points per L point. We'll be able to build together as a tribe, and we're going to be leaning more into those kind of mechanics in the future.
This is probably the point where I ask about proximity chat, huh?
Yeah, let's do proximity voice chat. Let's do it.
God.
Yeah.
I want to be able to. I want to be able to be second mining and hear very quietly as like her like slowly increasing in volume scream as someone's charging towards me.
We add a light to the ship and then a speaker.
Yeah.
That have the buttons right next to it.
Can you imagine?
Pull over.
Can you imagine being somebody playing the game and they're trying to hide in a belt and they get outed by their child sitting next to them? They're like, Dad, I'm hungry. You're like, no.
Have you seen A Quiet Place?
Yes.
Just like that. Like,
That's exactly right.
yes.
Next
Mandatory proximity chat.
Next question. My
Increase
God.
your signal.
Win more way to move ship.
Soon.
About
Soon.
12 different people asked this question.
Soon. TM.
Is it soon? TM.
But basically, we're working on it. We're going to be adding it, improving it.
Yeah.
We all want to have the ability to fly the ship as you dream. Right?
I'm waiting for full barrel rolls.
Yeah.
Barrel rolls, Immelmans, we got, they're all coming.
We're working on a Nintendo Power Glove implementation right now.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Just out there, just like, you have two gloves, you doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
then it'll be the PS2 iToy. That'll be next.
No, they're making promises I'm not talking about here. This is not,
lateral
I think we
glide,
got
slash
it
straight.
this far just with the system we have. Now we have to start breaking things and putting them back together.
Yeah.
And then
Yes, raw. You mentioned strafing. Yeah, strafing for sure. Okay, moving ahead. So next one is from Hexproof Rain, who asks, Are there plans for a ship/base like an Aussie road train or a simple RV fitted with modules like crafting and the like to truly have that nomadic lifestyle? And this is, I think, an interesting one because we kind of talked about like the idea of like motherships or.
There's
The answer
two
to this,
aspects of
the answer to this is yes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but there are two aspects of it, and I think it's important to set out expectations. This is like a bigger discussion. We're going to talk about modularity, I'm sure, during this broadcast today. Modularity will allow for this, as will we have certain technologies where there are bespoke ships, and in those historical technologies, that was a concept that existed. So those will occur as well. So there'll be both player-created versions of this, as well as historical discoveries of ships that do this.
Yeah, cool. You'd love to see that. Somebody in chat want to know, said we had the wrong idea of what the question is because we're talking about moving ships between structures or maybe. No. This was specifically about ship controls. I know because I condensed about 12 different questions into one question.
But also more ways to move ships between structures, yes.
Yeah, that is all. Yeah, for sure. Okay, next up is from Byron Dumont, who always has a good question, says, is the intent to go deep first or wide first with sensor and scanning mechanics? For example, focusing on completing the grid scanning and moving on to system-wide information gathering, or getting a first pass of both and then iterating it together?
First pass on both.
Yeah.
Like we're getting the mechanics in, and it's a complex system because it also comes down to putting signatures on all assets in the game, and then seeing these different mechanics working together, and then balancing them out so that they all give benefit and don't overshadow each other.
Yeah. And for potentially new players who are watching, we have a passive scanning capability right now.
It
is the first iteration of that passive scanning, and we're currently working on the active scanning that allows a player to determine, I want to know more about X, and so I want to expose myself potentially by pinging that and finding out more about it. So these things both have to be in place and then tuned together.
Yeah, these things kind of definitely infer each other. I feel like if you built one completely and then started the other, you'd be like, we need to make changes to the first one.
Yeah.
And these guys are doing a really good job of coming at it holistically from sort of a system level. These things sometimes need just such a wide view to think about, and then you start in a small kind of subset of that, and then you build it out, and that's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, we started on grid, passive scanning.
Yeah,
we go through active scanning next on grid again. In the meantime, we're also looking at the system view and just looking at the whole system, how it looks, how it's presented, how we layer information there, what information you can get, but then how scanning is then used to like unravel and then
populate that and
find that information you need.
Yeah,
and there's some really exciting stuff going on there. So I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah,
we're all players, by the way. I hope that comes across. We all play, and so we're looking forward to this. We want this.
Appreciate Aki being preemptive about this, saying wide first of the spicy feedback and flow. My God, there've been some spicy feedback today. I love it, but my God, it is spicy.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next question. This one comes to us from Kalama, who had a couple good questions. We're going to do them all back to back. It says, when do we think we'll see more ships? The spread feels even more limited than in previous cycles. It is actually, it is and is not more limited because we did add 2 ships at the end of last cycle, those being the Stride and the Karam.
We added 1 this time around.
We did add 1 this time around, the
Which
Lie.
Is less than 2, so
that is more limited.
However, the Lie is a repurposed ship from a previous cycle.
Right.
And we still are missing all our battleships.
You're saying the crew is a Lie.
So
yes,
there's several different layers of this.
Right. So the question then is, the question is, we only have a certain number of ships. They're all fairly small, with the exception of maybe the Maul.
Yeah.
What is going on here? What's the plan? And the answer to that is,
so we have 2 things happening at the same time. We have modularity, which the team is really exploring right now, getting it right. Very exciting. We've shown it to you, and I've seen your eyes.
Baby.
Okay, so we're on the right track there.
This is a big one.
That will roll out a capability for players to create their own versions of ships. And then that will be populated over time with more and more content, giving you more and more options.
Yeah.
Parallel to that, we want to be able to start testing out how do larger ships behave.
Yeah.
So when we're ready for that, we will release ships in order to allow them to test it. We know we're in an early access stage right now, so we have to learn all we can during this time. So we will give them to you at the right time, but be prepared for them to be harder to get than what we are setting up currently.
Yeah.
Right. The speed at which people are moving through the experience right now is inflated so that we get people to go through the experience and we can test all of the aspects.
Yeah.
At release, it would be different.
And we have people who are getting TDs within like 3 days. So like, I understand everybody is really eager to get new ships, but we also have to like pace this thing out for years. That might be cool. Yeah. The modularity thing too, I think is probably a bigger deal even than people realize. We've kind of hinted as to what this is going to be in the past on these streams, but they have not ever seen it. And the thing that I saw CCP.
Patagon?
Nope.
Look up.
Nope.
You need to give me
Artist
sits behind the intern.
Yeah.
Oh, Space Cloud.
Space Cloud. That's the one. That's
like
actually
faces and names.
That's a super cool name. Yeah, I didn't want to say like Italian.
By the way, when we
but,
say the intern, we're actually talking about a senior person. In
we actually have
so.
2 very talented Italian artists on our team.
Yeah.
And they don't do this. This is just a me thing. This is just a bit of insensitivity on my part. I need to learn and grow. But yeah, the video that I've seen, or even just walking by over there and seeing them work on that system, just with the sort of rough prototype that they've been putting together, is going to change how we even think about ships as because it's not. It no longer becomes like here's a ship, here's a thing, here's an object that you have, and it is an object. That's it. Now you have components of ships that you say, well, I want this piece of this one, and it's going to go here. And I'm going to take another piece from this one over here that I found in this cave over here. And it's a little dusty, but I think it'll work. I'm going to stick that on there. And this engine I pulled off of a guy who I just killed, it's pretty good, but it's, liable to blow up. And I'm going to stick that on the back and then put another piece over here. That's what we're talking about.
This is the ability to construct all things in the game in a modular way.
Yeah.
Including structures in your base.
And that
means that like if you want to build like a big old structure, like a hangar type thing to store a bunch of ships and then just try and bolt a bunch of engines to it and start trying to move it,
you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big paradigm shift coming where we can make it more our own.
Yeah. It is. I think for the longest time there was an issue with the tech for it. Like the shader was very.
There are multiple layers of problems in doing this, and we still haven't solved all of them, which is why they're not testing it today.
Right. But we are closer now than we ever have been. And
does that include modular models? Of course, you will be able to see visually. When you see another ship, you'll know. Like,
you might not know immediately just because of how complex it can get.
Yeah, like if you think of like the sort of like 1970s American like muscle cars, and you see someone stuck a gigantic supercharger sticking out the bonnet, you can tell by you look at it that they've done that. It'll be kind of
somebody takes like the front end of like a 76 Corolla. 76 Corolla. 70. It's a fucking. Jesus, 76 Corolla. And with the back end of a Ram, and just like, hey, let's just put those two things together. Like that is what we're getting at here.
What you wouldn't have
Civic Sleeper.
Yeah. Well, what you wouldn't have is players. Well, no, I'm gonna counter myself before I finish my own sentence.
Indeed.
It will be possible for players to create monstrosities of appearance.
Yes.
However, they probably will not function very well. So players probably won't do that because they tend to go toward certain streamlining.
Yeah.
But you can.
I think I heard CCP Paragon the other day talking about like penalties for like ships that look too gross.
Well,
and finding
again,
a way to
there are rules of functionality that are part of the system that will incline players towards. There'll be min-maxers who want to perfect their ships, and there are other people who are like, I love the way this looks.
Yeah.
You'll warp into the to like a orbital zone, and the Pharaoh drones will be like, brother, brother,
brother,
they'll be like that, and just come like, let's get rid of this guy.
Yeah, they determine their target selection based on who has the ugliest ship.
Yeah,
love that for us. Okay, next question comes to us from again Kalama, who says the new occlusion system feels amazing. Thanks. Been ducking behind rocks to hide from rats and yoinking loot, but it also made the game feel like a single player experience. 2 corp mates were in the same system, based together for 2 days, and didn't actually notice each other. When is active scanning coming? And the answer to that is when
we have it tested and ready for you to be able to do it. We can't say in advance of it.
Very broad strokes.
Well, what we know, right?
Cycle 5, cycle 6.
It's being tested internally at some levels.
Sure.
The needed tech for it.
Yeah.
But the design continues to evolve. That's where we are. For those of you who understand what the pacing of release would be, you can extrapolate from that.
Yeah.
But it would be wrong for us to say it's coming on this day because we're not there. We don't know.
Yeah.
What we know is that we are committed to it. We have the same team that did passive scanning doing active scanning right now. And they're just starting their sprints where, they've done their core design of what this is going to be like, and now they're headed towards exploration and development.
Yep.
Very good.
And one
But
of the
also
things
in terms of just the problem that is being addressed here is the fact that it doesn't see a score permit in the system.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is
That's
also a level of information that we want to improve on, is the ability to share your location with others and understand where other players are. If you want them to know, you can, we need better messaging and being
We have
able
no
to broadcast it.
transponders currently in the system. That will change.
Yeah. Cool.
we had the holding.
That was the wrong button. Press the wrong button. We're not holding. We're going to the next question. And the next question comes to us from Kalama again. This is, I think, the third or fourth one. I think I have 4. It says, it feels like there's a slight imbalance between mining and loot farming. I put together a USV almost entirely from loot crates. This is, I'm going to take a quick aside. This is insane.
I know.
The idea of putting together a ship from loot crates. I have not found nearly enough loot crates and have been mining.
You're just not trying hard enough.
I mean, I guess so.
But it points to the difference of experience that can happen today in the game.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. Like, someone
just
chooses
true.
to hunt down the loot crates and stuff. Is it balanced? Of course not. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying the fact that there are multiple avenues to reach something. If someone's like, I have a moral objection to mining in all forms, I will not hurt those poor asteroids, and they want to try and progress the game, why can't they try and do it another way? I think that's a cool way of doing it. I will say that we are making multiple times a day, daily adjustments and tweaks and things to the current distribution system. Mostly thanks to this guy
Hey,
here.
CCP Concron. What do you think about the distribution system?
Talk about it and acknowledge what we're doing.
So with the orbital zones that we've been working on really hard, getting it into the game and then changing just the scope of what you're playing in, and that has been such a huge lift and our main focus for a long time. To get them to work as we want them to, we had to create a completely new distribution system that allows us to create logical content in the whole universe.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been easy. And it came in pretty hot for this release.
Yeah.
We were just scrambling to get it in. So what we have now is not the intended experience. We will see it change a lot, and I have a massive change list on my computer already. That's already going to change stuff.
Acknowledge that bug that we found just recently. You found actually last night. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Kristen. Yeah. No.
Tuxford.
Yeah,
Okay,
Tuxford.
but the redistribution wasn't working as intended, so we're finding bugs within bugs every day.
Yeah.
And we're fixing them. And then we're finding things in the distribution that are not yet where we want them. So we're iterating on that. So we can just expect a lot of changes, a lot of improvements.
Getting more what we would like it to be as an experience and richer for the players.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Sheriff Cowron.
Cowron,
we don't have Zanitra as a New Frontier. By
That's
the
true.
way.
Hey, if you're worried about Zanitras, great news.
Yeah.
We don't have them.
Zero Zanitras.
Zero Zanitras. Not a
even
single
one.
one.
Not even
No.
one.
In fact, I've never seen a triangle in Frontier.
Have you seen our gates?
Fuck. Okay, I've seen one triangle. Yes. No. This is a Wendy's, sir. You'll be looking for the next stream.
Yeah.
I appreciate your enthusiasm. But wrong stream. Okay. Let's go ahead. So yeah, but in all seriousness, I know you've been doing this has been an unforgiving system over the last couple of weeks. You guys have been putting a ton of work on this. I know it feels like a lot, and I know you guys are obviously a little anxious about it sometimes too. This is all just it's a brand new system on our side from a back end point of view. It'll get worked out. Nobody panic.
It is an extremely powerful system when it is tuned correctly and running.
It is
the power that it gives us to distribute content throughout an entire universe. With systemic rules that make sense logically,
so they can start to predict them.
Yes, so it starts to become predictable, and it makes sense why stuff is being found in locations, why certain NPCs are in certain places doing certain things.
Yeah,
it's just such a powerful system. It's just this is when the mad scientist turns it on for the first time, and they're still having to pull some other levers and twiddle the dials to make it go right.
Yeah,
This is the mad
yeah,
scientist.
and-
He's in there right now, like pulling levers, turning giant, like comical, oversized dials, like with a pointy bit. It's like
This is
most of the pieces are still
Yeah.
like, on the table,
Yeah.
and I haven't put them in yet, but I know what
Officially-
they
You
are
know
what
and
they
where
are.
to put
Yeah.
them.
officially CCP Concron is RNGesus.
yeah.
Moving right along.
At least you're not getting 20 paintings anymore.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
managed
true.
to fix that.
I was building an art gallery, and I
Yeah,
got
if only.
yeah.
That'll annoy
Last
you a
one
lot.
from Kalama says, having to be in the station to accept the tribe invite seems like an arbitrary point now.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I mean, you guys know what this question is.
Yeah,
It's
we're
really dumb.
on it. We're on it.
So the reason for this is kind of interesting because this is a
It's a session
legacy.
change thing.
it's a legacy issue from EVE
Yeah.
Online, and it was to stop people from being able to swap corporations
While being shot
while
at.
being shot at, basically,
Yeah.
because it would trigger the war system. We don't have the war system, and we don't have that specifically, but it obviously is a huge pain in the ass
Yep.
because there are not nearly as many stations in the universe, and they're all kind of hard to get to.
And we are playing, so this is pissing us off as well.
Yeah, no, I mean,
So-
there was somebody in
There is
chat
a
this
list.
morning who made a comment about how we don't play our own game,
What?
which is ludicrous.
What? Like,
I've spent more time playing Frontier in the last week than I have seeing my kids. My kids, of course, I do mean cat, but still, yes, this is something that we're still working on. It is a huge pain in the ass. And in fact, I was harassing poor CCP Tuxford just the other day about this one because it is keeping people from my own tribe from joining my tribe. Very sad. Okay, so and this is the same thing. Yeah, we pulled lenses out of it. That was the other part of the question. Yes, so this is all work in development. Next question comes to us from Jabolko, who says, games are our entertainment, distraction, and escape from real life. EVE Online offers abundance and relaxed progression. EVE Frontier emphasizes harsh survival and irreversible losses. Why should a player choose a game built around guaranteed suffering and loss, and how will you make this appealing to a broad audience? I think the answer is we're not trying to make it appeal to a broad audience.
We're trying to make it a game that has its own identity.
Mhm.
Yep.
And its identity is one of overcoming, either individually or as a group,
Yeah.
this very dangerous environment that
Yeah.
we're in.
Yeah, I mean, pop it back up again just so I can
Sure.
refer to
There
it
you go.
because this is actually a very good and very well written question.
It is.
So it's actually kind of philosophical. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier on when I talked about how Frontier is more of like a civilization engine.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk about here how it emphasizes harsh survival and irreversible losses, nothing's truly irreversible in the sense that you can always recover. Even if you get knocked back down to square zero, you're never like ejected from the game forever. Like you're always able to, in some way, especially if you have a social network as well, that can help you with that.
Yeah.
And one of the things sometimes people forget in an MMO is the social aspect. Like sometimes a problem cannot be solved alone; it has to be solved by other people. And if we were to try and build a world that is sort of like utopic, that it's you want for nothing, you're always happy and everything. That would be us imposing our version of utopia on the players. And some people may agree with it, but by and large, you'll find that most people don't agree with your same vision of utopia.
Yeah.
So what we find, and we've done a lot of research on this as a company, like the darker the world, the more light the players themselves bring into it. So although it may be a harsh, dark world with like, these terrible losses, when you go through a loss like that, especially in a game like Frontier or EVE, it really crystallizes you in that moment because it can be a very intense experience, like emotionally and psychologically. And there's this conception sometimes by people who don't really understand games that these are not real experiences, they're not real emotions. But the reality is there's no such thing as an artificial experience.
Yeah.
Any emotion that you feel in a game or any other situation is intensely real, and it does not matter that it happened to you inside a virtual world or a real world.
Yeah. I cried when we lost the wormhole war.
Yeah.
Man, that shit's real. I've wept a handful of times in my life, and one of them was when we lost the wormhole war, or when I realized we were going to lose because I thought that was going to be like the end of it, and we would. Yeah, it was a whole big thing. But you're right. I mean, it is. And Raw brings up a great point in chat. Raw, many wise points. Many people have said this before. I'm saying it right now. Yeah, I mean, this is what like the whole Souls series, like genre is built off of. Like be getting abused by developers in such a way that like when you finally overcome the challenges, the catharsis you feel is.
We're putting the tools in place for players to create a actual civilization.
Mm-hmm.
They have to start from a place of high risk, and that's the experience we're building.
Yeah.
But of course, there are two aspects to it. So there's to recognize there are it is the harsh world we're trying to create and are creating. But then it's how we onboard people and how we let them in and how we sort of port them in.
Yeah.
Just how we communicate through UI and UX and how we make things understandable. That doesn't have to take away from the grittiness of the universe or how hard it is, but it's also something we are working on improving and want to get.
We haven't given everybody the tools yet.
No, exactly.
Yeah, we're not.
The tools are in the works.
If you're surviving today, you're surviving not only a dangerous world, but a fickle world.
Yeah.
Without all the tools that we're going to give you in order to go overcome it. It'll get better over time as far as your ability to overcome.
Well made point, by the way, by Econ Martin. We can make the world as gritty and dark as we want to, and you guys are still going to put goddamn Flappy Bird to the fucking game.
Yes.
See, that's the light that you bring. Turns out the light we needed all along.
There you go.
If that's what the players are,
Yeah, if that's what they need, then
that's what they need.
Oh boy. All right, next question comes to us from Lacal. Speaking of which, speaking of the devil, he shall appear. That's actually really funny. He says, for all of us, now that Cycle 5 has been live for a bit, what part of it are you most proud of, and what part has taught you the most since players got their hands on it? I want to go around the table a little bit. Let's start with you. What is the thing that you're most proud of, and what has taught you the most since players got their hands on it?
I'm most proud of the orbital zones.
Yeah.
That they are coming in. I think they're gonna. It's the first steps currently. Once we start being able to refine the experience around different types of zones, different types of patterns inside those zones or points of interest. The game I see is going to start coming to life. We're going to have a way more varied and big world to explore, and we have a way better way of creating that content for players. That is what I'm super proud of and excited about, because that's going to really make this game stand out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And what have I learned?
You've learned a lot.
Yeah. I don't know where to start.
Oh my.
Let me think about that one.
Right, turn that down, huh? How about you, Scott?
Leaderboard.
Hey,
Overload. Yeah, back on the leaderboard. Thank you. CCP Overload. What are things that you have learned and absorbed, and what are you most proud of?
So I mean, the fact that we pulled all these different things together, like orbital zones, the SWE migration and stuff, and we're able to go out with that whole thing, and basically just one day of work to get it out the door. Obviously, we've been doing a lot of like fixing and triaging as we've been going along, which is good. But I think for me, it's something that's kind of like built up over the last couple of years of doing this, and it is that I feel like we as a team have been very good at communicating with you, the community out there. I think you've been very good at communicating with us, and I think that relationship, as it stands right now, is really good. I think we're very proud of that. The fact that we can come to you guys with like questions and ask you, hey, what do you think about this, or give feedback on that, and you give us most of the time pretty good cohesive feedback, and we spoke about it from right at the start of development of eFrontier, this concept of co-development and like building out in the open. If we build it, it's just gonna be an echo chamber of ourselves. Being able to like have you guys in there and actually like be part of the process, like it's such a valuable resource. And I think we've cultivated it in a very great way. I know that there are problems sometimes. I know that things aren't balanced sometimes. And I know that things break sometimes. That is just the nature of alpha game development, unfortunately. But you guys have been really good at sticking with us and helping us make the world that we're trying to build for you better. So we've learned a ton from that. Really, and how to do that, how to make that most valuable.
I hope that whatever you said was insightful. I've been
it was just not like wow, very insightful.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty good.
Sorry, I was I've been
pretty good.
The survey's broken, so I've been pinging.
I learned that if
CCPI.
I put the spawners for the towers too close to buildings, they start to jiggle.
Love that.
That's my favorite.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
That's really funny. If you want to know why the Watcher is having a bit of a crisis, it's his fault. Same question, I suppose. Is there anything that sticks out? Are you most proud of for this one?
For me, it's really easy.
Yeah.
I focus on how we make games, and what I have seen is the power of a team that's all working in the same direction. So what I'm most proud of is the team.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of them being able to accomplish this. People get to see the results; they don't get to see the process. And, in an early access, founders access, we're building a stage that the play is going to be on.
Yeah.
We're showing the stage building happening, but you don't get a chance to see all of the labor and the passion that goes into this. And, you've got, it's almost 70 different individuals with different agendas all trying to make this very complicated thing at the same time. And we did it. And that team, that was the biggest move forward, was the team, not just what we put into the game, but the fact that we could put it into the game.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it again.
Hell yeah.
And again.
Yeah.
And I saw, just as a little sort of cherry on top.
Stop. Look over here real fast. You got one stray mustache here. There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely has been killing me the entire stream. Please go ahead.
The cherry on top of the cake, or as they would say in Iceland, Rusnu Pilsuenderum, the raisin at the end of the hot dog.
Okay.
I know it makes no sense.
Okay, go ahead.
Makes perfect sense.
We'll agree to disagree on that. Is that these people who are working on this thing, they're doing it with it's a very powerful engine, the carbon engine that we have. We're very lucky that we have the best engine in the world for this exact type of thing. But I saw a slide from CCP Chimichanga, the technical director of EVE Online, very recently, a presentation he gave talking about the complexity of the thing that we're working with. And the total thing, when you pull it all together, is 25 times Unreal Engine 5 code line, in terms of lines of code and complexity. Unreal Engine 5 obviously is a pretty big thing. A lot of games are using UE5 right now. And you can imagine how complicated such a piece of software is. And Carbon, with all of the things it can do and all of the configuration files and the networking stacks and everything, because all basically bespoke, 25 times UE5.
Crazy.
Is crazy.
Somebody a second ago, by the way, wanted to know, is black and gray and a CCP outfit requirement? Get some color, guys. I'll have you know my underwear bright orange.
I wear colors most of the days, but I wear my eFrontier branded stuff for the streams.
I wear either black or white.
Yeah,
that's true. That he doesn't have color.
I'm not kidding. I'm currently wearing bright orange boxers. If I were not afraid for my own job, I would reveal them to you.
That's true.
So just know that. Take my word for it.
That's true. Blue Parsec says the process we don't see is CCP Legolas working 48 hours a day to make those free world contracts. That is true. Legolas does in fact work 48 hours a day. You know how in Harry Potter they have the little time turner thing?
Yeah.
Legolas.
She just sits there, just cranking it back and forth all day long, just be like,
absolute machine. Is CCP Legolas.
Yeah.
What an absolute hero.
Okay, moving right along. We actually do have. We're not going to get through maybe half of these. We have a lot of them, but we're going to keep going. So the next question comes to us from Jamie who asks, with the new AI drones, are they supposed to be super aggressive? Like you warp into the orbital zone and they instantly lock you and start blasting?
Who knows?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
the answer is sometimes, right?
But let's not be too coy.
Yeah.
We've made a few mistakes in getting the tuning right, and some of the distribution issues included the NPC distribution.
Sure.
But yes, there are going to be varying levels of aggression in this game. It's going to be something where you'll be able to learn.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own logic as well. That they'll make decisions based on it. And there was one guy on Discord, for some reason, it was like he pissed off that one crow, and the crow went back and told all its friends. Because
we're going to be getting to him. He has a question in here too. We're in fact, actually, I want to go to
just with the way that we're doing things. It's systemic. There's a lot of new systems coming in. We didn't expect a lot of this coming in and happening.
But some of it we love.
Some of it is amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
But we're going to be going
emergent
through that,
content
for more systems.
Yeah.
You're going to see more emergence.
Yeah.
That is
I'm
Space
skipping.
Raccoons will do Space Raccoons.
That is a quote. We want to quote
Space Raccoons will do Space Raccoon things.
Put it on the box.
We'll put that one on the shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to skip ahead a couple of these because we are getting close on time.
Yep.
We've got 20 minutes. It's not too. We don't have 20 minutes. We have like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Will you be adding? This one comes from Art Urban. Wants to know: will you be adding dockable structures? For example. Okay, that was a great answer.
Yes, we will.
I mean, the answer is yes, right? Like, currently you can't dock anything. You can't dock in your refuge. You can't dock in your hangar or whatever. But that is coming. Also, are the hangars always going to be spheres?
No, we're going modular. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
triangles, maybe.
Triangles, maybe. Oh my God, can you imagine triangle? Is there nature hangar in Frontier before EVE Online?
So you'll be able to make them in the shape that you feel that they need to be made in order to do the thing you want to do.
I'll make them in the shape I think they need to be made.
I know you will.
Oh yeah, we will.
That'll give people reasons to blow it up.
Yes. Next one comes to us from You're Definitely Not My Dad, who wants to know WASD movement. When will lateral strafing be introduced? We already talked about this a little bit. Also, turrets. When will it be balanced? 6 turrets is not enough to take down 1 Reaver at the moment, and they're useless and expensive. Introduction of modules for scanning and everything else. Keep the great work. So modules are kind of an interesting question because, I mean, obviously we don't have an abundance of modules right now.
No, we're just testing right now.
We're just testing, right? Yeah. And the whole fitting system is very Eve coded currently.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is going to change a lot when
this
when
isn't a fitting.
modularity-
It's not a fitting system.
Yeah.
It's an you're constructing
Modular
from
ship system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
And turrets will become. This was like a band-aid on top of a band-aid while we deal with bringing in the destruction and recovery system for bases, which isn't in. The turrets as they exist right now are, I guess it's like putting like a padlock on a waist-high fence.
sure.
It's like it signals to someone like, "Hey, I don't want you to enter my garden," but they can just climb over it. It's more of like a please don't type
It's
thing.
to keep the birds off.
And there's no limit to turrets, as CCP Armageddon points out.
Yes.
Just what you can build. So
That's
don't
true.
build 6, build 12.
Build 12. Don't build anything else.
Don't stop being poor.
Yeah. Put each put your refinery at one L point. Put your permanent at another one, and then just surround it with turrets. Easy peasy.
Yep.
Okay. Node cap is the limit to turrets. Absolutely, Rob. Next question actually comes to us from Cadian, who says, during this cycle, we've seen some crazy things.
Yes.
But on the 16th of March, 2026, a day that will forever be burned into my core memory, something magical happened due to a happy calculation accident. I got to experience the most wonderfully terrifying, adrenaline-pumping, panic-inducing experience I've ever had in my gaming life. I realize this really stressed the servers, but that being said, can we hope for events like this? Maybe rarely being a core feature of eFrontier in the future.
100%. This is exactly what we want these systems to be able to achieve. This is why we're building these systemic things that aren't deterministic. They don't just do X, they do Y. You do X again, they do Y again.
Right.
We want things to be able to...
Is that when I spawned all the NPCs?
Oh, yeah. He had like 100 of them.
He specifically got really... really merc.
That was me.
His entire screen was full up of unscanned signatures. As they were all just like doom a
But all of us would love to have that experience ourselves.
Yeah.
The idea
in
was
the right moment
to get the loot back into the game.
Yeah.
And that was what I was trying to do.
You did it. You definitely did it.
I put all of it back into the game.
I was actually just
everywhere.
Everywhere. Just before this stream, I was talking to CCP Dramaturge about NPC swarms and what they might look like in the future. And there's some really cool ideas being thrown out there. So
and there's optimizations that we are going to be doing that which will allow us to, right now we're putting things in, seeing the impact on everything, both client and the server side. And then we're optimizing against that to see what room we have.
Yeah.
And also we're getting the orbital zones in, which are gonna be like the static landscape of the universe. It's gonna be there.
It's the playground.
But that creates the canvas for us to start adding the dynamic things on top that we really want to put in. That is these NPC behaviors. That is things changing in the orbital zones you're used to mining in, things coming in, things disappearing, etc.
Cool. It's fun because
things are going to be super fun.
You see like interactions where people are talking about how there was a bunch of pretty strong NPCs guarding like a loot cache, and they snuck in behind an asteroid, popped out, grabbed the stuff, and ran off to their base. And they're like, "Aha! I have succeeded. I have bested them." And then the NPCs like all warped in as well. It's like, "Oh fuck!
oh no!"
Followed him home.
Yeah. Followed him home.
Shout out, by the way, while we're sitting here, to Rob Superior, who asked a great question, which is, "Will Potchman never get exploration?" I'll give you a hint. Rob Superior, Potchman's a triangle. So if you know how triangles are shaped, that's all the exploration you need. Also, wrong extreme, but you already know that. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Happy morning beverage. I hope it's a nice strong beer.
I do also hope it's a nice strong beer. Next question comes to us from Damon, who actually asked another question earlier, which is honestly a better question than this one, but sorry, Damon, it got skipped. Who asked, will we be getting new missions from the hub throughout the cycle?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Next question that comes to us from Narix. I love this question. Cycle 5 has brought an entirely new feel to the game altogether with the changing NPC and loot mechanics and orbitals. It got me thinking about how players experience the game during alpha and how they attach their experience to what they expect on release. What major gaps of features that have not yet been implemented but are planned do you think contribute the most to a disparity between the current player experience and your final intended vision of the game?
I think the ones that have the biggest impact are things that are currently sort of like holdovers from EVE Online. Like, to use the example that we just kind of talked about a little bit, the fitting system and the ships. The fact that the ships are just kind of, you get ship does X. Yeah. When that's not what we want to do. And it's a very good point that it is sort of like coming more closer to the own vision for eFrontier, but we are still, there's these parts where it's very hard to put this into words. They're still sitting at the point that they were when we inherited it, because they are fit for purpose for what we're doing right now, which is kind of testing the other stuff. And when we do those, it kind of like improves the whole thing. But you could be slightly reductive and say that the it's only as good as its worst part. And some of these things for us, for Eve Frontier, they don't really fit. So they are starting to drag down like the experience, because the rest of it is kind of moving up in this trajectory of like unique sort of experience, but it's kind of being essentially there's a bit of like drag holding it back down. Whenever we take one of the lowest hanging ones and we bump it up, there's a notable shift of how the game feels. And this cycle is a really good example. We got rid of a couple of very, to use your terminology, Eve coded systems and replace them with the ones that we envisioned how we wanted it to be. And it just changes the feel of the game. I would recommend go back and look at some of the latest Vision streams where we talk about the Golden Path, for example, to kind of get an idea of some of these other ones that might be coming in. But I think to answer the question directly, it's things like that. I don't know if you maybe have some more pertinent examples.
I think modularity changes everything. I think that's true. I think that the social systems will change the experience once we give people the tools that they can start to create their own networks and the forms that they want and the permission systems that they want. I think that'll change the whole experience. I think that once we have confidence in our distribution that we are getting what we want, I think that'll change the moment-to-moment experience dramatically. There's other things, one of the aspects of modular shipbuilding is making sure that there are flight dynamics for each of the different ship that you construct. And so the feel of flying is going to change based upon the mass and dimensions of the ship and the power that you put into it. So that has to get there. That'll change the moment feeling of the game. Those are the bigger ones that I think will change people's ideas of what the game really is.
Maldaris,
I think
go ahead.
We still have like what we have now is the roots, I think. I don't see the roots changing that much, but they're just going to get more evolved and they're going to expand, and we're going to get a lot of new systems. They're always going to be building on this base that we have now.
Maldaris in chat makes a great question, or asks a great question about why in other games NPCs bark. What's the E-Frontier equivalent? Basically saying like it's the NPC equivalent of like, what was that noise? And then if you give it a second,
you get lit up, but you get scanned, because right now they have sort of perfect knowledge. That is not what will be happening in the future. NPCs will have their own rule set of scanning, and once they have their own rule sets of scanning, then players can manipulate that scanning, and that will change that interaction. So there will be barks. You just got pinged. Something's going on.
When active scanning comes in, and then like we give it to the ferals as well, and then suddenly you're like mining away, and then you hear like the ping. You're like, oh, what the heck?
The idea that ferals just be sitting there going, must have been the wind.
Yes,
it's very exciting. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. I actually had a couple other questions, but getting into them will get us over time. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we wrap this shindig up? Actually, before we do final thoughts, a couple things. We are doing another community activation event in chat. If you go to the Frontier Discord, check out the announcements. CCP Jötunn has posted about it. Some more social stuff should be really cool. Also, we're doing a survey right now. Survey might be a little bit broken. Still looking into that. I hope it is not. I have not tried it myself. Admittedly, I did not fill out the survey that I asked everybody to fill out, but I will in time to do that.
CCP Jötunn doesn't play his own surveys.
Yeah, I don't play my own surveys. Play the game, not my own surveys. We also are doing, right after this, there's going to be a Q&A stream update, whatever they're going to do in the hackathon channels on the Discord. There's a Discord only stream, but you should go check that out. It'll be a lot of our people, a lot of people from Miston and the Sweet people will be there to talk about the updates for the hackathon. It should be super cool. If you're interested in that layer of stuff, you should go check that out. That is at 1400 UTC, so right after this stream. Live to Feed will be on here in just a few minutes on this channel if you want to stick around and watch the Eve team. Feed, certainly, and they'll be doing some feeding. And on top of that, this weekend I'll be doing another base building and chill stream on Sunday. Probably gonna have to change that name at some point, but it's not gonna be today. We'll be doing that Sunday night. I don't know exactly when it's gonna be, but
Econ Martin says live duck feeding. Trust me, you do not want to be outside right now.
It is. You could hear the snow striking the side of the building.
Yeah, if one of those ducks tried to take off, they just off into the.
It is so windy right now.
It is insane.
And the snow is like that little pellet snow.
Yeah, it's not. It's hail.
It is aggressive. It's like very. It's like very. It's almost soft hail.
It's fine.
Fuck you. All right. Any last thoughts, real quick? Anybody? Anybody?
The hackathon's still running.
The new patch.
What about it?
We're patching on the 24th.
Oh yeah, we're patching on the 24th. We're gonna add some stuff.
Yeah.
I've got patch notes.
I personally, as Emperor of the Peaceful Empire, have added in the ability to rename your assets in your asset window.
No.
Interesting, curious, because I'm pretty sure the agent who put that together was one of my own agents from
that's misinformation.
Wartime Reloaded,
misinformation.
Formerly known as the Ward.
We do have the
Armageddon has been doing great work there. Really cool stuff.
CCP Armageddon is
on behalf of the Emperor.
Lots of good quality of life
Imperial
experience
conference.
changes coming.
my beloved. Yes, yeah, it's very, very cool. There's a couple other really cool things in there as well. We've got a new thing that you've been putting together. It's gonna be. Do you want to announce it, or you want to? We're gonna wait till. We'll wait till next week. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very simple, but it's kind of nice.
It's just things people have been asking for.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
That'll be it for us.
I just want to quickly point out Hackathon's still running. You can still enter. Check it out. Go to the website, which someone else will put in Twitch chat for me because I'm here. You can sign up. You don't even have to like code some stuff. You can just even like propose ideas and like put together a conceptual presentation, things like that. I pitched the other day like an idea of kind of like Pokemon Go in space, like you anchor your storage unit to then attach it to it, and then that becomes like a Pokemon gym, and you take your ones up and you battle there to like control the gym, and you can trade them and things like that. You could like do all sorts of stuff, and $80,000 prize pool, so it's worth just, even if you have a slight interest of a cool idea that you might have, it's worth just signing up, checking it out.
Multiple different categories as well.
Yeah.
So,
including weirdest. And if I know both EVE Online and eFrontier players, weird ideas is exactly where you can
there
really
will be
do things
competition.
well.
There.
but that was a great audio experience just now, by the way.
Bang my
Bang,
ring.
bang, bang. Yes.
Oh god, I'm watching the lights over there fly up.
Yeah, because you guys are all fucking weird. And I say that as one of you. So like, it's from a place in here, but you're weird.
Nintendo lawyers already descending. CCP DJ. No, he got timed out. Well, listen. Just if you search
search.xyz/eFrontier 2026.
Yes, thank you. Nailed it. Shout out to CCP DJ. Did get smoked by the bot, but he did his best.
He's also suffering from the NPCs.
That's true. CCP Concron cannot be stopped. I've been CCP Jötunn. This has been CCP Bowman. That's been CCP Overload, and that has been CCP Concron. We'll be back next Friday with another stream. Who knows what it's going to be? I don't plan that far ahead. Time is a flat circle, my friends. It's only the void waiting for us after this. So grab onto something and hold on tight. We'll see you next time. Until later, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the frontier.
Goodbye.
Have a good one.
See ya.